Hi and welcome everyone. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024 on a solar eclipse day. And this is going to be a happy little reading but with a really fun twist. And it's going to require you to, if you care to join me, be a participant in this. So not only was I led to pull out and set up as the background things that evoke the sun, like sunflower energy. There's like a mandala on this table covering in the background. I have a sundial, a book called The Smoky God about the inner earth and an artificial sun. I'll include a link below to two links actually where I actually read the actual book if you want to just hear it as an audio version instead of reading through it yourself. And we've got, sunshiny energy with dandelion root tea here, a sunflower candle represented, butterfly. And then a whole bunch of cards, which we'll get to. I don't want to show them too much right now, and you'll see why. If you notice, I also have a brown paper here in front of me. It's just from a paper bag from a grocery store, and I cut it up to make actual little paper panels. And then I also have napkins for a very good reason. So before I get into this reading / fun experience, we'll just call it, I want to ask you, if you're in a place where, say if you're not driving or whatnot, if you're in a place where you can grab any kind of paper, it can be the back of a receipt, it can be like I just showed here, like a paper bag from a grocery store, and it could be as simple as a napkin. This is a slightly bigger one. It can be a cocktail-sized napkin. Whatever you have that's paper that you can write on, or just regular notebook paper or printer paper, whatever you can grab. And it can be a color as long as you can, it's not too dark of a color that you can see when you draw on it, because that's where we're headed. So I'm going to take a pause here, give you a moment if you can, again, just if you can grab even a ballpoint pen or, a little bit slightly nicer pen, Sharpie, whatever you can, highlighters and colored pencils, that'll come later too. If you've got those, great, grab those. And honestly, it can be as simple as just, regular ballpoint pen and a napkin to work with, okay? So I'm going to wait a second. If any of you want to join in boldly and blindly on this little adventure we're gonna take you on, grab it. And again, just grab whatever paper is nearest you that you can write on that you're not going to need again. Okay, and I'll explain why later. So, and then we'll get to some cards. I'll pull some cards at the very end of all of this. All right, so in honor of the sun, this is a very solar intensive reading. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this yet, but we're going to be looking at the sun with seeing with a capital S, seeing the sun. That might be the title. And I'm asking you, starting off with a question again. I have the sunglasses there in the background to remind me, how are you seeing the sun? Okay, so those little heart-shaped glasses would imply like seeing the sun from the soul, SOUL. Soul is also spelled, what do we know? SOL for the sun, or soleil in some other languages. And but it's got the SOL at the root of it, sounding the homonym of soul, like your soul. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions as we start off. Right now, without looking at any images, with your physical eyes, feel into your heart space. Close your eyes. Again, if you're in a safe place, not driving, nothing dangerous situation like that, to do this exercise. But close your eyes and even put your hand on your heart space if you like, or both hands, and just think to yourself, or not, sorry, I'm doing this already, starting off on the wrong foot. Feel to yourself, feel it out from that heart space with your eyes closed and using your inner sight. If I ask you the question, try to take away any preconceptions out of what we've been taught, since children are coming here on this earth. Try to have your mind as a blank slate, a blank canvas, like the paper I just showed you now. Maybe a little helpful imagery. Okay, we're going to just look at a blank slate here, blank paper. Okay, so the question is, feeling it out from the soul, the heart space, close your eyes. What does that sun look like to you? Feel it out. What's the image of the sun? Feeling it. Okay, that's question number one. Now question number two. Using your physical eyes, but not staring direct at the sun, kind of coming back out to more of the thinking space, your brain, your head space, mind space. Think of it for a second, whether you close your eyes or not. Thinking from there, what does the sun look like? Okay, so those are the 2 questions. And we're going to do a little exercise for fun here. So we're going to actually draw the sun. So if you've, hopefully you've grabbed your napkin or your receipt or whatever piece of paper by now. It can be on the back of something that you're not going to use again, scrap piece of paper. Or it can be a nice piece of paper, whatever you want. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We're going to be sketching, you know, very loosely, quickly. Nobody's going to be judging the artwork here. It can look beautiful, it can look messy, it can be stick figure, or it can be very professional looking. Whatever level you're at does not matter. Anybody can do this. Anybody. Even, you know, preschoolers. Okay? That's the intent of this. This is a little exercise for all of us. Okay? So, that being said, I hope you already have your images kind of thought of, seeing the sun from your heart space and seeing the sun from your mind. Okay? Now, because I don't want to prejudge what you're going to be drawing. And also you may just say, I have no idea, and you can just do this exercise blind, so to speak, and just see what comes out as you hold the pen or, you know, colored pencil, highlighter, watercolor brush, whatever you want to do this with, pastel, crayon, you know, finger painting, anything with this exercise. So you can also just see what comes out as you put the drawing instrument to the paper, so to speak. Okay, actually you could even draw if you're on the beach. You can even do this exercise using your finger or a stick, drawing in the sand, mud, whatever. Okay, clay. So here we go. I'm going to show you 2 images, and I think it's going to be very self-explanatory. And this also is going to tie into my sky observations on my channel and my thoughts on what's going on with the sun. But right now, before we get into that, oops, let me grab, sorry about the camera, I'm going to be moving it around a little bit. I need to grab something I can use as a pointer, and I don't want to use the pen. Okay, here we go, this will work, this incense stick. So if you can see, I know we've got shadow on the table, but here, I'll come in close. So here's one image, and here's another image, okay? So I'm going to ask you right now, looking at both of them, which would you say is the sun, and which would you say is the moon? The depiction of the sun and the depiction of the moon. Okay? And not overthinking it. I'm just asking, you know, very basically, which one is the sun and which one is the moon? You know, from these very basic depictions. All right? Well, most would say that the yellow one is the sun and the white-gray one is the moon, right? All right, that's what our brain would tell us. That's what our learning that we grew up with, most of us, is going to tell us, right? And most, even preschoolers and kindergartners on up, most of us, if we put a pencil to paper, we're going to draw the sun yellow and the moon whitish gray, okay? Even the emojis and the texting, you know, menu here show the sun as yellow. Okay. Now, if you're in a position to just look safely at it, just glance at the sun where you are right now. And if it's nighttime, of course, you can do it in the daylight. But if you just glance at the sun real quick, you know, and it's not sun setting, it's just like up in the sky, which does the sun look more like, would you say, on average? You know, some days it does get a little more golden, but most of the time we're looking at a white glaring sun. So I invite you to look at, like, I think it's the fourth video that I created, something like saying something like the sun is not alone, and I cover why I'm, you know, kind of hitting this point home. But we are going to move past this. This is just an aside that works well with this being the day of the solar eclipse and talking about the sun. Okay? And, you know, I don't even want to get into it right now, but it's fascinating what's going on right now. We have the moon, which there's a lot of speculation. Is it artificial? Is it? Is it a hologram? Is it a hologram overlaid over something physical? And what's up with the second moon coming in? You know, if I were to draw this now, and again, I'm going to be holding the camera and trying to draw at the same time, so have forgiveness. I'm trying to, like, do a lot just with one hand. I normally like to have 2 hands to do this stuff with. But right now, what are they saying in the news, right? What are they saying on mainstream news? Oh, I just put away my shoot. I put away my gray and kind of whitish colored pencil for some reason. But anyway, what they're saying is that we've got this other moon coming in. You know, we got a second moon. So now we got the question of, is this a, you know, natural planetary body? Or is that just, you know, another kind of like a space station, if you will, like they allude to in Star Wars? That's no moon, it's a space station. Or is it some, you know, kind of physical construct and not a biological one? right? So there's lots of theories on this. There's lots of predictive programming and movies about this. Even the cheesiest of ones like Moonfall, they're all alluding to it being artificial. So what do you think? Okay, I have my own thoughts on it. For me personally, I know some people really connect in and feel more of a living energy with the moon, and this is not a criticism. I'm just sharing my own personal opinion, and we can have different ones and still be friends, get along famously. So for me, looking up at it as and I know it's about the sun today, but we're going to still talk about the moon, because I feel like they kind of go hand in hand, have always had a relationship to each other one way or the other. But so as a child, standing in the driveway looking up when I was 7, I just knew this thing is foreign. The moon, it's just some kind of foreign body. It never sat right with me. Felt like it never kind of belonged in our sphere, so to speak, in our realm, and felt very artificial. And I always wondered, well, how can that thing be knocked to the hell out of until it's like obliterated and pockmarked, and yet our Earth doesn't show the same evidence, and we're very close to each other. So, it just never added up. It just never added up. But anyway, I digress. So let's move back to the sun now. So the sun, yes, I'm saying there is a solar simulator that's been put into effect. For me, I didn't notice it really carefully until about 2014, 2015. I think there was a changeover from our beautiful, warm, healing sun, original sun, because the rays off of it were very nurturing and healing. Even if you got a sunburn, it felt somehow healthy. Now, the sun looks, instead of golden, on average, on the daily, is white, glaring, hurts to look at, and the rays coming off of it actually burn and hurt to like a microwave, like to the point where they're burning plants. You can see like black scorch marks, and even, I posted it on the community page. Lots of people are capturing on videos. God love you all. Thanks for posting them. That even sunflowers that they're coming across or have in their gardens, their faces they're turning their backs to the sun, not their faces. And if you know sunflowers, I've been in fields of them before in Europe, and they track with the sun. The face of the flower opens, faces the sun, and then follows the sun along its trajectory. Now, no can do. They are feeling the burn, and they just know something isn't right. So you got to really look at your cues to nature. Again, our inherent knowingness of the sun is calling it golden yellow, but now we got to look with our physical eyes. Our physical eyes used to see this, and now we're seeing this. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of my little rant on what's going on there, and to really pay attention and, do your own digging if this is a brand new concept to you. This is just maybe your first little, hi there, rise and shine, and wake up to what might be happening in the world, okay? And, just don't take my word for it, do your own digging and look at all the various sky and earth watching channels that have been noting this for some time. Especially, I first really got into this like in 2017, 2018, and there were a lot of great channels, and I give them all props in my earliest of shows that really discovered this and brought this to light for a lot of us. And unfortunately, with all of the heavy censorship, there was censorship even back then, and hit these channels telling a lot of good truth hard and wiped them off, or they had to delete their channels, things like that. But anyway, let's move on to what I really wanted to get into here, the fun part. So I hope you have your napkin, and I just want to illustrate, I just grabbed a Sharpie and drew on this heavier kind of craft paper from the grocery store, the shopping bag that I pulled apart and made a little paper out of. But you could be in anywhere outside, at a family gathering, at a picnic. You could be at a restaurant. You can be anywhere, a bar even, where they have some type of paper napkin available. And just get a pen, okay? And what we're going to do is go back to the first question, and you can watch what I'm doing and then do it, or do it now already, and, don't wait for me. But I'm just going to say, go ahead and grab your napkin or whatever paper you've got, and go ahead and draw the sun from the first question I had, from the heart space. You can even close your eyes and doodle, if you want. And we're not looking for perfection here. I don't need to see a perfect circle. This is, drawing from the heart and letting your arm be extension from the heart. Let your arm be and your hand be an extension from your heart space, which has a very real electromagnetic pulse of light and energy that will move down your arm from into your hand and to your pen, and then touch the paper. There's some kind of magic that happens with that. And if you're of the newer age and you love your digital sketch pad, I'm asking you to do this the old-fashioned way first. And then if you want to also do this, take it up with your sketch pad, so much the better. Great. Okay. So let's do this. So connect in with your heart. Again, your eyes can be closed, they can be open, but go ahead and start drawing on the surface. It can be big, small, whatever. This is your canvas. What does your sun look like? Drawing it from the heart and from your soul, SOUL. You're drawing the SOL with your SOUL. And I'm just deliberately pausing because I want you to get started without, looking at me to follow. I want this to be all you. It's all about you and your creation. The sun is all about creative energy, creative expression. And so I want, this to be about you, not me. Okay? It is about me, though, too, because I'm going to do this along with you and show one of my various expressions, which we all have endless expressions and capabilities. If we do this again tomorrow, it's going to look and feel very different, also depending on what mood we're in and what emotional state we're in. And there's no judging this thing. Take out any number of colors. If you're working with I brought out some colored pencils. Your palette, maybe your palette's all purples and blues. That's how you see the sun. Again, there's no parameters on this. It's very open. Okay. All right, so let's do this. You could even actually, I'm sitting outside, you could even actually grab weeds and grass and plants and arrange them and make it more of a 3D. If you don't want to use a pen and not comfortable with pen, make it like a little mixed media or sculpture if you wish, okay? All right, so for right now, again, it's going to be a little difficult for me to do because normally I like to have my second hand holding the paper, whatever, as I move around. So this is going to be quote unquote very sketchy for me too, but yeah, this might be a little tough. I might have to shift to the brown paper. But I just want to illustrate the point that you can be anywhere. You can be sitting waiting for somebody, and you're at a table and, you just want to doodle it out. And then just know this is a good little tool for your little toolkit, spiritual toolkit, to have in the future too. So everyone's sitting there looking at their phones, right? They're a little uncomfortable in social settings. Well, you can be anywhere, and as long as you have like a little napkin or scrap piece of paper and a pen, you can start doodling, right? So, for right now, this will just be one depiction that I'm going to show of a sun, kind of coming, from the heart space. And for me, the sun is more like a star and a portal. So I'm just kind of got a rough kind of little bit of a nebulous center. It's almost like a star, and just, kind of capturing the idea of radiating things out in a circle. But, other people, what do? As kids? Actually, I'll do this over here. As kids, what's the basics? This goes back to, you can be doing a stick figure if you want. And actually I'm going to do it in this pen because it'll show up, the Sharpie will show it better on camera. Okay. So what do we do? Sorry, I'm trying to do both at the same time with the camera. So what do we do as a kid? If that's what you've got, that counts. If I came up to your table and you showed me and I don't know you, and oh, I did a bad job at this. See? It can be sloppy. Who cares? If I showed up at a table and you're sitting there with a cocktail napkin and you drew this and I don't know you and I came up and I say, oh, that's the sun, right? It could also be a spider or some kind of new bug creature, but let's just stick with it. That would be the sun. And if you did this and I don't know you, come on, you're going to say that's the sun. Anybody would come up and say that's the sun, right? All right, so that's my point of this exercise. So it can be very simple. But now we're going to focus on, and just be drawing away while I'm talking, if you like. We're just going to say, what does this look like to you? What does the sun look like to you? So I'm going to give up the napkin right now because I can't really color on it. So now I'm going to shift to this paper. So the first exercise is draw it from your heart space. And actually, I'll give you more time. Some people might need more time to do this. So I'm going to let's do, the heart space is going to be up here, and then the drawing from the mind I'm going to do down here, okay? And I'm just going to put a little dividing line so I make sure I got room for both, okay? And you can do this on 2 separate pieces of paper or 1, whatever you want. Again, it can be tiny, it can be huge. It's up to you and your creative artistic expression. So let me just do, again in Sharpie so you can see it better, where I kind of was going with this. I kind of was just saying, oh, it feels more like a star, like a daytime star, if you will. And, just kind of feeling like it kind of goes out in waves to me. That's what I'm feeling for right now. Again, you ask me tomorrow, I might change my mind and draw it differently. You know, actually part of me even just wants to have like a ball in there and do something, you know, like that even. You know, where it kind of takes on a flower effect. And some people, you know, it might be more like an actual sunflower, and that's their feeling from the heart about what the sun is. Or it might be like this mandala here, my little background. Sorry, it's hard to see. Actually, can I move? I'll move the, oops, I'll move the sunflower there. You know, you see it. For some people, it might be more of a geometric pattern, right? No rules on this. Do whatever the sun feels like to you. You can do a bunch of suns. You can do however you want on this piece of paper and make it totally different composition, however you like, okay? All right, so let's just say, I'm going to keep on with this, so again, gives people time to complete theirs, and then we'll move on to the one from the brain, you know, space. So I'm just going to very loosely do this. I'm going to just put some, you know, some color here. I'm going to go into some oranges. Actually, it's more like peach. And I'm just making this real sloppy on purpose, just to show we can take it in any direction we want. I even want to put some pinks, put some hot pink in there. I'm going to throw in, by contrast, I want to put a little bit of the sky around it for emphasis to play off the contrast. Again, sorry about the camera, and this light is not the best because the light coming off the sun right now is more like an LED and not like our original golden light. And proof and point what's going on here with our sun. White, bright, glaring light instead of nice, warm, soft light happening these days. All right. And so, and look at, there I can make the sun, you know, a little bit bigger with its rays, or I can start to diminish and pull them back in by putting the contrast of the sky. Just feel like going all over the place. So again, like I said, no rules on this thing. I'll throw a little purple. You can do strokes that are straight lines, or like I do wide ellipses here. Again, just let yourself free flow. Okay, so we start to see our little sun here, and then I'm gonna throw some darker yellow in the center. This is again coming from my heart. This is not like looking up at the sky these days. Okay, I'll put a dash of pink in there too, because my sun, from my heart space, here I'll get some seafoam green in here too. Seafoam green. Okay, because from my heart space, I see, I'm running out of this color, a very happy, you know, happy, cheerful sun, you know, coming from my heart space. That's what I'm feeling, right? Throw some green, and I'm probably bringing that in because the chakras are all about pink and green. Pink separate and green separate for the heart space, and I have a very loving feeling for the sun. All right, and then just for good measure, I'll throw a little bit of pink in there as well, and we'll close this out and get on to the next part with a little more really pale yellow in there. And I hope you can see this. Sorry about the shadows, I wasn't expecting that, but hopefully you can see it enough. It's hard for me to see in the viewfinder because when it gets really intensely blind sunny like this, my viewfinder turns everything kind of dark, but I think when it goes to post, you're going to see this more along its true colors. Let's see. Okay, so that's it. So actually, when we look at it, my sun from my heart space is also turning out to be kind of like a cosmic rainbow of healing energy. That's what I guess it came out to be. Okay, so again, yours might have been real small. Yours could have been, you know, just this part, you know, and you don't have to put color in it. You know, others, you know, to you, literally, this could be your sun, and it's just fine. Okay, or even this, you know, just the circle. And it can be a sloppy circle, right? I didn't take time to make that a pure circle. Now what I want to say is, if you do want a pure circle, it's easy as taking, like I have this little wood chip thing, you know, I'm not going to actually do it because I need my second hand to do it, but you can just trace around, create your circle, right? You don't have something like that, you can use the bottom of a candle that you have not yet lighted, right? You can take a cup, you know, if you have a cup, a plastic cup, a glass, whatever, that is a circular shape at the bottom, and then just trace around it, right? Okay, so I think that's enough for now. You get my point. And now let's go to our little second exercise, if you dare, in a fun way. Fun little challenge. Now, what are you going to fill this with? Connect in with your head, you know, and your head and your mind, you know, looking at this with your physical eyes and not from your heart space eyes, so to speak, your inner sight. Now just go with another vision, you know, using more of your head maybe, or maybe this is more aligned with things like this, that, you know, academically, ever since you're a kid in school, you know, you just sit down and intuitively draw on a paper and you see something more like that, right? So what's that going to look like? I'm giving you a second to do it without me. And again, if you're only having like a receipt, you know, a white piece of paper or napkin, and some napkins are better than others. They are not all created equal when it comes to this. Turns out that like the cheaper the napkin, the better for this exercise, as long as it has some thickness to it. Like cocktail napkins, that like they're thinner and they have a little bit of a grain and texture to it. They're a little bit better than this kind of fluffy, floppy napkin, I would say. But you get my point. So I'll start here first. So let me see what I would do with physical eyes, drawing it from my mind or my head, you know, instead of like my heart. And then I think I would do something more like this. And for me, I probably would do, and again, sorry, I have to usually hold the paper with my other hand, but you'll get the gist. I would probably do something more like this. Oh, sorry, I got to put the camera down for a minute. There we go. It's blowing. Okay, there. Whatever. Okay, you get the idea. And again, forgiveness here because I don't have my other hand available to hold this down while I'm drawing. But, you know, I might do something like this. I'm not going to belabor it, but, you know, there we go. And other people, you might say, okay, with my mind's eye, with my physical eyes, I always imagine a face on it. So you might do, you know, that. You might have, you know, a little face. It might be smiling. It might be nervous, whatever. But to you, that might be the sun that you see with your physical eyes, not just from the heart space. Okay? So anyway, that was it for this little exercise, joining in. Just know that wherever you are, you have, you know, paper at your disposal via napkins and other things. You know, some people might even just depict it totally different, like you have a little heart. And to you, you know, that's kind of like a sunshine heart. That's the sun. You get my idea. So just something to think about wherever you are. You might want to start sketching, you know, and don't judge your own work. Some people are terrified of putting a pen to paper and say, oh, I can't draw. Yes, you can. Everyone can draw. I mean, you can sign your name, or if you can, you know, write a letter. Or even, as they say in the legal world, you know, where they always have the X and you just sign by it. Even if I just went like that, you know, just made a scratch, that counts as my mark if I wish it to be. And I can change how I do that every day if I wish. Anyway, so the point is, when people say that, I kind of go, not so fast. Yes, you can draw. Everyone can draw. Everyone can sing also. Nobody said you have to sing like an opera singer. You know, any kind of tune that comes out of you as a vessel making a sound. Yes, you can sing, you can hum, you know, you can draw as well, as long as you can have a way to draw. And if you don't, I'm not meaning this to be disrespectful, but say you don't have limbs, you can still draw. You put, plenty of artists have done that in that situation. You put the paintbrush or the pencil or whatever in your mouth, and you can draw that way, or with your feet, or whatever you have, in a creative way that you can make that happen, right? Okay. So that was enough of that. And what I'm going to do now is, I guess I'll just lay out some cards and then we can wrap this up. Let's see. Yes. So actually, if you give me a second, I'm going to, this little bunch of cards, what I did was, I'm going to set them out on the table. So I'm just going to hover over the pretty pencils until I set that up. What I did was just pull out, I went to various decks of the oracle cards and tarot card decks that I have. And I just started pulling out all the cards that show sun imagery. And now that you've done this little exercise and thought about the sun and how you might draw it from the heart space or just from your head space, and, you know, just kind of more logical and less from the heart. Let's see, less of the emotions I thought, let me just bring out a bunch of other examples of how the sun can be depicted in case you want to play with this on your own and draw more suns. You know, just sit there and doodle. You know, give yourself plenty of time. This is just whatever time you have with me. But yeah, maybe take this up and do it another day, or keep doing it today. Draw a whole bunch of suns and experiment around with different styles, pens, watercolors, finger paints, poster paint, whatever you've got, right? Okay. You can even do one without colors and do it like more monochromatic. If you don't have any paints, use coffee or tea. You know, with a brush, that works too. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of hover around over the cards. And I think at the very end, since this has been so sun intensive, actually I should kind of focus over here on the sunflower. After I show you these cards that I pulled, expressly showing the sun or sun energies, I think I will just pull a couple of simple cards at the very end. They may or may not go with our theme, and just something in there that I say or that you see might be a message that you personally need to hear right now. Okay, and if not, no harm, no foul. Okay, so let's get to it. Oh, also I just want to tell you the incense burning today is lavender, rosemary, and the candle there is something and bay leaf. I think blackberry and bay leaf. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm just going to slowly pan over these cards. I will put, you know, the source reference, the source deck, the author, and the illustrator in the description area below. So here, these are just depictions of the sun by others with these decks, right? And I hope you can see it. Again, it looks glaring in my viewfinder, but I think when this video posts, it's a little clearer. It's funny about this bee. I love the way the wings come together and they attach where there's a heart. Right as I was setting everything up, one SOuL honeybee bumblebee, I want to say, did fly over the table, so I took that as a good omen. But look at this sun, it's pretty. They've got rays that, you know, if you really look at it, that could be an abstract version of a sunflower, or it could be the sun with pink rays coming out of it, right? I think it is the center. Well, yeah, it's the center of the flower with the bee, but open for a lot of room for interpretation. And then I think I'll read this one because it has something to read on it. This says 19. It's actually the sun card in tarot, so number 19 is also a 10 or a 1, and it's the sun, and it says plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of life. So that's actually kind of, I probably should have put that as like the leading energy for this whole exercise too. But let me read that again because it's so glaring. I couldn't read the text. Hold on, I'm going to try it again. Plans that work out perfectly. Amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations. Gratitude for the blessings of life. There we go. Okay, so that's a great one. And this one we had just yesterday, I think. This one, though, did remind me, or we had it the other day, this card showed up, where this beautiful winged angel type being is reaching for an orb, but it also could be a depiction of the sun. Now that one is more of that bright blinding light, but still not LED. It's still talking about more of a supernatural divine light, you know, where the yellow golden turns into a beautiful divine white magical healing light is what I would say. All right, so now let's go down to this next row. This one's nice. It's saying foggy bug patience. It's number 13 or 18. I think it's 18 or 9 or 13 or 4, interpret as you will. I think it's a 18 or 9. We'll go with that one. Foggy bug and patience. This one's nice. This shows like a nice diffuse, you know, golden orb glowing in the background. And this card is very much reminding me of this book, you know, The Smoky God, or A Voyage to the Inner Worlds. And again, I'm going to put that link because I read that, and they talk about this kind of diffuse, maybe artificial feeling light in that story. So that might be something that interests you. Then we have this really cool cat. It says, speak your truth, have strength, faith, and conviction in your voice. It has never been more needed. And that's got a very kind of Egyptian feel to it, if that's something that is appealing to you. So again, we're just looking at all the artistic styles depicted here as well. And if there's a message I feel like reading, I'll do it as I go. Then we've got this one. Okay, that's another depiction, you know, with a face and bringing nature into it with vines and flowers and the sky energy in the back, right? And then we have number 34, Standing Stones, Ancestors, Gateways, Sacred. And I pulled this one out because the sun is depicted. This can either be the sun, or they've got the spiral pictograph, which some say means traveling into other dimensions or stepping through a portal. But again, it is said the sun is a portal, so that, you know, makes sense. We've got the sun and portal depicted in one. And in the case of here, it's kind of evoking Stonehenge. And this is from the Celtic Spirit deck. And when it's depicting Stonehenge, there is what they call the heel stone, which is supposedly a truncated form of helio, meaning sunstone. And that is where the sun rises. It kind of perfectly aligns on the tip of that stone. So again, sun energy big time happening in that card as well. Then we have more of the traditional tarot, and we've got, you know, this is the way the sun is depicted. Actually, I like this because it's got some rays that are, you know, in the cardinal. Well, no, I'm saying that wrong. We've got some more linear rays, and I love that there's some squiggly ones, you know, mixed in between. So it's kind of like the sun is anchored, but it is giving off energy that's alive. It's not static energy coming off the sun, right? And we've got sunflowers in the background and whatnot. So again, we've got number 19 or 10 or 1, you know, the sun. And then this one, even though it's the Wheel of Fortune, gosh, I can't even see it, so glaring. I hope you're seeing this, so forgive me. It's literally, when I look at the viewfinder, it's like black or dark gray. So I'm just guessing where the card is, just based on the sun angle here. Okay, so this one, even though it's the Wheel of Fortune, to me it's got very much, you know, golden energy, again, nodding to, you know, Egyptian reference in this particular card. And just that, you know, it's a golden disc, right? Again, a very simple depiction. Sorry, my shadow's in the way. A very simple depiction of the sun, if you will, a golden disc. Then this card I like because they're combining nature with the crystals. So at the center of these things, let me read it. It says, crazy lace, agate, and sunflower. Play, more fun, jokes, and laughter, please. And I think that absolutely is a big message I want to bring through today. Absolutely. Okay. And I like it because even though it says it's lace agate, it's actually, if you look at this, and again, I hope you can see it well, you know, it's actually reminding me totally of this selenite. Okay. So, what's it called? Crazy lace agate, but it could also very much be selenite at the center of those things. Okay. Then we have, show you one more deck here. We have the sun depicted here behind this lioness. In one of my readings, I called it a cheetah because to me this is a mix. The face and characteristics look more like a cheetah, but the tail is a lioness. But anyway, again, it's just a matter of what energies are coming through. So for me, it's definitely now this time very much of a lioness energy instead of the cheetah. Got depiction of the sun beyond. Some might also interpret that as the moon, but I'm calling that the sun. Then I pulled this one with the bee. Again, I had a little bee visitor come. And I don't normally see bumblebees out here, but I did today. And this one is showing what could be an abstract sun, but it's the honeycomb, but you could abstractly look at it as the sun. If you turn these white inside, then you have the solar simulator effect. See my show number 4, it's very short. It's when I first started out, so forgive me if it's a little rough. But I do show imagery of the actual, you know, technology that they're using to create the artificial sun, at least that we know of, and these would be white, as in white lights, not the golden honey that we see there, honeycomb. Then we've got this depiction is a fun depiction, strength of the sun, just kind of like somebody dropped a drop of watercolor and let it splash. You know, if you're more of the abstract mind, you might want to just, you know, throw paints around too as part of this exercise and be even more liberated and free with it. And then here we have a beautiful watercolor, you know, depiction of a sunflower, which again, we've got sun in there in the sunflower, and motivation, just as an extra little message there. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to say the message on this card was number 23 or number 5. Gosh, is it even in there? It's so hard to see for me right now. Giveaway. Okay, and that was the one where it was about, you know, giving freely without any expectation of like receiving something. Like if I give that to you, then I should get something back. No expectation of getting something back. Just giving freely, spirit of a loving heart. Okay. All right. So now I think what I'll do is just for fun, and just to maybe take us off center a little bit from everything being all about the sun. Let's mix it up a little and just see what card might come through for you today as a collective kind of reading. So I'll just say it, you know, for all of our highest and best good and harmonious for all, what could we really need to hear right now? What would be good? Let me just see where I feel like going. I think I'll go right here. Okay, we got focus. with a little heart there. So the quick message there is just focus in with your heart on things, and remember to do more of your thinking, so to speak, with your heart, not your head. Definitely drop down out of your head space and into your heart space these days. All right, that's where the world is headed, and that's a friendly reminder. So especially in times when you might feel like you're multitasking, like this octopus has all these arms. Sorry, I'm looking for my little pointer. I lost it again. Let me grab another one. Okay. So yeah, this octopus has all these little arms and such, but it's about, letting yourself float up, like with these bubbles. You don't have to, this octopus is not grabbing onto rocks and the ocean floor. It's kind of in a state of readiness to be down there for a bit, but also to float upward. And so I get a very light floating energy, and that's where we should feel like, if we are really living from the heart space and not getting bogged down in the head, then that would show this. If that were the case, with all of our worries and trying to multitask, that would be a very different depiction, and we'd be seeing like probably a grayish looking worn out octopus that's like mired and stuck, onto a rock down here or something. Okay, so this is about lightness. Again, we got the pink energy, which is beautiful, with the heart chakra, and it's a very happy and light card. And just look, he's cute, and he's just looking right at you and just saying telepathically, if you look at his eyes, it's almost like just saying to you telepathically, just love, be loving in so much as you can. Not to be a doormat, but, when you can do it, choose, with your heart, and be compassionate, kind, and loving where you can. Absolutely stand up fierce for yourself when called for, but, let the kind of resting state be that of love when you can. All right, now we'll do another card, and I'm just going to be very messy about this. Let's go with this one. Oh, that's nice. What we just talked about, number 27 or 9, let go and flow. And we've got the beautiful rainbow energy and the feeling of lightness once again, just letting your body be almost like in a free fall, and kind of be light. And what did this card say that was really appropriate? Be light. And I'm going to read this message again. More fun, jokes, and laughter, please. It's totally this energy, right? Be laughing, be silly. Go on a swing if you're an adult, Make sure it can hold your weight. Speaking from experience. Anyway, let's look at this too. Let's do one more deck, and this usually has beautiful images in it. So let's see what we get out of here. Okay, ready, set, go. Now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desire, right? So the one card was what? Let go and flow, right? And once you do that and get into a playful energy, then it's kind of like, what are you waiting for? Ready, set, go. You're in a perfect energy now to take that free fall and make it where you're just flying and gliding through, right? So that's a nice message. And I think I had one more deck. Yeah, we'll do one more deck. This is a deck, I don't know why I never use it. I just forget about it. I think it's because I don't like the black on the back of the cards, but it has beautiful images. Okay, Page of Pentacles. And look at this. I'm not going to read this in the traditional way as far as tarot is concerned. But what I like about this, and it's perfect to end on for our overall, we'll call it what, reading / experience today, is, actually I'll hold it up. And let me try to do this where I can even see the card. Okay, not going to happen. I'm trying to find the right lighting. It's not going to happen. This is a little better. But what I like about this is she's holding this pentacle or coin, but it could be like a decorative tray, mandala. It just, beautiful pattern. Could be sacred geometry happening in there, and also a depiction of the sun, right? And in geometry. And then I like that she's also standing on a disc as well, right? So two different planes. And that's the thing too. You can try to draw, with a little drawing exercise, three-dimensional sun if you're so inclined. Nothing says it just has to be 2D as if it's like, standing straight up. It can be on angle, it can be flat on the ground. And actually what this is reminding, I'm glad this is coming up, the bottom image there, actually, yeah, we can even turn it, look at it with a different perspective. But I'm glad this is reminding me, I did want to bring this up in the reading because it happened, it kind of came into my mind, flashed as a vision and image before I even brought all this out here to set up. And that is the concept of, if you look at the really old churches like Chiesa San Marco, St. Mark's Church or Cathedral in Venice and St. Mark's Square, you go in there and there's a lot of mosaics on the wall, and they used to incorporate the gold, you know, like really shiny gold small squares, that little tiny mosaic technique, and they would put that all in the backgrounds and stuff, and that was so that when light, you know, light sources were put in the church, that would help boost and amplify, you know, the light, because it would be reflective. You might see in movies and such where they have a, you know, looking at the late 1700s or 1800s, they have a mirror on the wall, and in front of it is a little holder for a candle, and that's so that it can reflect and, you know, cast more light out into, reflect more light out into the space. So that's just what this is kind of reminding me of, kind of like ancient gold mosaic technique on some maybe old smoky walls in different cathedrals. All right, well anyway, that's it for now. Hope you had fun with this, and if you felt a little daunted and didn't really feel like busting out a pen, look, I didn't even get to, you know, actually I'm going to do that now maybe. Hold on, I got this big pile of cards now, but I didn't even get to, you know, pulling out the markers, you know, and let me see if I can do this with one hand. I gotta hold the camera, hold on. Yeah, like, you know, no rules on this thing. You know, you can even bust out the markers and, you know, bring that into the mix. Do whatever you want, you know, and then, you know, test out whatever medium works for you, you know, that feels good to you, and play around. Play. Where's that card again? Now I got rid of it. You know what I mean. You know, play, laugh more. Here it is. I think I'm going to end on this. I really am. I'm going to end now. But yes, more fun, jokes, and laughter, please. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Hope you're having a beautiful right now. And yeah, I'm going to ask you. You don't have to put it in the comments, but if you want to, do it. Let me know what you thought. If you had fun with this exercise, what did you see from your heart? What did you see with more from your eyes, more academically? And if it doesn't post, my channel tends to be heavily shadow banned from the very get-go. So if it won't post, I'm sorry. You know, it's not me. Pardon their ignorance. Just, you know, email me too if you like. I have the email down there too, and hopefully that comes through. I'll check the spam periodically, maybe once a week. Okay, anyway, best to all, best wishes to all from and from my heart space. I'm sending you extra warm wishes. If you're in a tough place, maybe you know, things seem really dark for you right now, you know, just pick up a pen and doodle on something. Just even the most basic action might help you just get out of that slump just enough to take the next step higher. And, you know, I'm really wishing you well. So, tremendous peace and love to everyone. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.